Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here at Game From Scratch. What you see in front of you, this is the Epic Games Store. They've tried to do a Steam competitor for a very long period of time. This is how you would download Fortnite in this day and age. And you'll notice there are more and more publishers showing up here, such as we've got Electronic Arts. We've got the newest Madden here. We got a number of different other things. We've got Hitman in here as well. It's grown in popularity for sure. It's definitely not of Steam size, but the thing about the Epic Games Store is they have done a hell of a lot of incentivizing for developers to try and get them to publish on the platform. Amongst those is you can use Unreal Engine for free for games published on the Epic Games Store, so there's no royalty on those sales. And then on top of that, the commission rates or the royalty structure here is 88-12. That means you get 88% of the profit. Epic Games takes 12% for running and selling on their store. By comparison, the standard operating agreement on Steam is 70%, 30%, and that is also rumored to be the Xbox, PlayStation Store, etc. So the industry standard is a 70-30 split. So an 88-12 split is also pretty good. But what I'm going to tell you, there is an even better split available now, and that is because of the Epic First Run program. Now, essentially what they are doing here is for 6 months exclusive deal, you are getting 100%. That's right, 100%. First Run program will give participants the opportunity to boost their net revenue from users spending on eligible products from 88% to 100% in the first 6 months on the Epic Games Store. After that 6-month exclusivity period, you will continue to benefit from the traditional 88-12 profit margin there. So basically, for the first 6 months, as long as you publish exclusively, and I'll get back to exactly what that means in a second, on the Epic Games Store, you're getting 100% of the revenue. The wording might be a little weird here, so revenue from users spending on eligible products. That's because it also includes things like DLC, in-app purchases, etc. So literally, you make 100% of the revenue. On top of that, there's also some user promotion aspects here as well. So participating products in the Epic First Run program will be presented to those users on store with exclusive badging, home page placement, dedicated collections. In addition, products will be featured in relevant store campaigns, including sales, events, and editorials as applicable. Once a product joins the program, it will benefit from continued exposure through its Epic First Run. So basically, Epic Games are going to keep promoting their exclusive titles in special marketing programs, which is actually pretty cool. But there's a little bit more to this program as well. It's not just a 6-month exclusive, because you can actually publish on a couple of other stores, which is kind of interesting. So again, 6 months, you make 100% of net revenue on user spending, and then after 6 months, it reverts to the 88% instead of 100%. Anybody is open to participate with this if you have an Epic Games developer account, and your product launches after October the 16th. So this is launching very, very soon. By the way, if you already have an exclusivity deal with the Epic Games Store, you are not eligible for this program, and your game also needs to be new and not previously released on a PC store or a subscription service, so something like Game Pass wouldn't allow. It needs to be a new PC game, essentially. Here's details on how you can go about getting an Epic developer account. So can I still release a product on my first-party store or website? So if you are, say, this is interesting because it could potentially include something like Ubisoft, who have their own store, or if you have your own web page where you're going to sell your game directly, you can actually sell it that way, but you're selling it via a redemption key. There are some technical details here about how the redemption key program works. Just click this link right here if you want to find out. It's, again, a very technical thing here, but the interesting part is you can also sell on other stores that sell redemption keys. So that means things like Humble Bundle, Green Man Gaming, those are two explicitly listed. So you can sell keys that redeem on the Epic Games Store on other sites. So you can't sell, obviously, on Steam. You can't sell on GOG. But if you're selling on a site that sells like traditionally, like where you would sell like a Steam key now, you can continue to sell it here and still make 100%. So that is actually pretty cool. So it's exclusive, but not that exclusive. So basically, this is just not Steam, GOG, Game Pass, that kind of thing aren't eligible here. How do you sign up? The details are available right here. And how do you release your product? It's kind of technical details there as well. There is also a landing page for this. So it's pretty much the same information all over again. So there's 230 million players, 68 million monthly active users using it right now. So again, your normal revenue share is still really good with 88-12, but for the first 6 months, you are getting 100%, and you're getting some marketing features as well. Again, Unreal Engine royalties are waived on payments processed by Epic Games, so that is also pretty impressive. For your first 6 months, none of the royalties from Epic Games, like the what is it, 4% or 6%? 6%, I think it is. You're not going to have to pay that. And for any future sales on the Epic Game Store, you also pay no royalties as well. So you basically, if your game was developed using Unreal Engine, you can develop it for free for that window. You can also use other game engines. By the way, there's no need to use Unreal Engine to qualify for this program. It's just if you happen to use Unreal Engine, the royalties are waived as well, which is pretty cool. And then you got tools there for doing discounts and sales, etc. later on down the road. There is kind of an FAQ drill down here, kind of walks through, who can participate. They cover almost all of this off with their blog post, so this is mostly repetition. Again, what products are eligible, how do you sign up for an account. Here, this one is interesting. If you're launching your game as early access, does it count towards the 6-month term? And it's if you launch into early access before going to 1.0 release, the period that you are in early access does count as part of the 6-month exclusivity term. Now, this is an interesting way you could get around the marketings potentially, is you could do a 6-month early access on the EGS, and then when you've released your 1.0 game, you could also then launch it on Steam. So then the early access period would only be on the Epic Game Store. And then, when it's finally actually considered done or fully ready or whatever, you could launch it on all stores at the same time. That's kind of an interesting approach to doing it, because I think that would piss off users a little bit less, especially, people that stay away from early access in general. This is interesting that they allow this right here. If you already announced it, are you still eligible? Your product must launch first on the Epic Game Store and PC exclusive, so you can basically, even if your game is announced, as long as it hasn't been sold yet and you make it exclusive, you're good to go. And again, you can sell it on your own, but you do have to use their digital redemption codes to make it work. So that means you can use it on services like Humble Games and not GOG, Green Man Gaming, etc. And that's kind of the details here as well. You got more drill down details. So if, again, you want to get into their keyless distribution system, you can find it right here. This, again, is pure technical documentation, so probably not something most of you want to read, but that information is available. And what happens if you break the 6 months exclusivity period? You're welcome to Epic to exit the Epic First Run program. To do so, you will need to contact your account manager and provide all relevant details. Your exclusivity period will be void from that day forward, and revenue captured from player spending would revert to the 88 to 12. So I'm curious, does that mean that you could cut the 6 months short at any time? And you can just use it as the benefit for the period it is. They're giving very, very generous terms, to be honest here. And it's a bold move, Cotton. I don't know. What do you guys think of this? What do you think of, again, the Epic Game Store in general? I know they've been pushing free games for like a year plus now to grow their user base. It looks like they've moved from that a little bit. But yeah, that is the store. That is the new promotion. So now they are running, again, the Epic First Run program, 100% of revenue for the first 6 months, including a special promotional ability and so on, and also the ability to sell it on your own store and stores with redemption keys. Pretty generous offer, I think, and I'm curious what you guys think. Would you consider going with the exclusivity approach here? And what do you think of that early access option? So you could do your 6-month early access on the Epic Game Store, and then around the time of launch or shortly thereafter, launch it on other stores as well. That seems to be a way to maximize your profit while making the Epic Game Store the first place for people to buy and try out your game. Interesting approach. I'm curious what you think. Comments down below, and I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.